fuck? Yo. All right. Hey yo, welcome to Sweet Chocolate. Usually it's a one take type of show. We come at you with creative content, black expression, and it's just, it's an incubator for modern conversations. It's a collective experience. My name is Joe. This is my mate Jared, coming at you live from Austin, Texas, and I'm in Denver, Colorado. And yo, I'm sick and tired of all these technical difficulties. Fucking technology, man.
Why are you yelling at me?
I don't know why I'm yelling. My bad. I'm mad flustered. It's Sunday. We've had our first week of 2021. Anyway, Jared, how are you doing?
You can see how I'm doing.
What you drinking there? What you got over there?
Spectacular.
Hooch hour.
It's actually Modelo time over here. So
it's Modelo time. Okay, I kind of like that. I like the contrast.
And once again, right here, can you see that? There we go.
Oh, coming at you live from Austin, Texas. Y'all got a little snowflakes out there, a little frosted flakes, I might say.
Yeah. I played around a little bit in it earlier. Some guy was making a snowman. That was great.
You played around it in it?
Yeah, I got like a snowball, like hit a ball, through it. It's cool.
Jared, you're a grown ass man. Have some decency.
Bro, it's the little things. Why would you not make a snowball in the snow? Do you hate life?
You're a grown ass man.
Bro, I know next time I can see you on the slopes, I'm pegging you with snowball. I'm going to buy a jacket specifically that can hold pre-made snowballs in it, so that I can just machine gun fire on you on the slopes, bro. Just pegging you.
It's hard to peg someone you can't catch.
Anyway, we don't even need to have this conversation. If you watched last episode, you know the story of me beating this man.
Child, please. No, that was not in the last episode. That was not in the last episode, but you guys can also see the last episode here to the right or maybe to the left. I don't know where I'm going to place the little link yet. But anyway. Dude, so yeah, did you have a good week? How's everything going? Work, life, society?
I just been living, man.
It's all we can do, especially with how things started. I mean, if we can just jump right into it, the insurrection, the protest that happened in Washington D.C. What was your take on that? Like, what were you doing? What was your experience of that?
Well, I was at work.
Mm-hmm.
That's what I was doing.
Yeah.
But I was trying to keep up with it during the day.
It's like these people don't have jobs or something.
It's like these people don't have jobs, right? And
that's what they always say when they see, I guess, liberals or left people going out on the streets protesting something they believe in. They're like, oh my God, like, why don't you get a job? It's Monday. It's Tuesday. It's 3 o'clock. It's 1 p.m. God. A lot of head assery.
Yeah.
Was it something like unexpected? Was it something surprising for you?
Yeah, I mean, I feel like it wasn't like that surprising until like after I was kind of done with the day and like I kind of looked back on what was going on, like I caught up. Because in passing, I'm just like kind of like getting like little updates about it. I'm just like, okay, this is kind of like weird. Like obviously, like I just assume this is like one of those like Trump rallies, just whatever. But then like afterwards, I'm like, okay, well they actually like we're climbing over walls and we're in representative.
Dudes thought they were Spider-Man.
I guess like someone's like a representative's like computers missing right now at the moment, like their laptop, some shit like that. Some people I guess have already gotten like found and arrested.
I never thought I'd live to see the day that parkour was happening on federal ground.
You see that one woman that fell off?
Probably not, but I also don't want to watch that many. I see the humor in it because the internet's undefeated. And the memes are priceless.
They're just perfecto.
But it's just so concerning. So like Jared and I both went to school like down south, down in Texas, a little bit outside of Austin, a little gym called Texas State University. And we have friends from all different walks of life, but like a lot of our friends who are conservative, they've yet to not only call people that are on their side out, but they're also like, this is what happens when you don't give the people what they want in regards to like clarity behind the votes. And I'm like, yo, on so many different sides, on so many different investigations have happened, so many different lawsuits have happened, and you're just willing to throw all those lawsuits out, and because they're what mainstream, you're saying that they didn't give the due diligence, and I'm like, I think that's the problem. That people there's so much cognitive dissonance, and people want to fit their narrative, and now they're like, we have to save this country. We have to save this country, and I'm like, are you kidding me? Like,
The only thing I see right now is saving us from complete and utter destruction from inside.
from literally from the inside. So many different. I have family from all over the world, like Belgium, France, UK, South Africa, Angola.
I mean,
I'm all cultured, but and they're like, is everything okay? Literally, I've had aunts, like my grandma's called me, things like that. They're like, what is going on in the United States? Like, this is devaluating us so much, devaluing us.
what is he? What is he's the 45th president?
Yeah, whatever. If you
Yeah,
consider him asterisk,
he like to me he's. I just wonder how other countries like their view on him being our representative.
they think he's a dickhead.
Yeah,
I mean,
most likely yes.
like if you think about it, the president that position is more just it's more for presentation. It's more for like diplomacy.
Yes, it's called being called a diplomat.
Yeah,
And he was not that whatsoever.
not at all. Which was like that's my main like concern with him at the very beginning. I was like, I don't think he's so egotistic. Which I get. Like here in America, we are very about like us culture. We think we're the biggest, baddest broad on the street. Like we're like, rah. But and I'm like, yeah, I like the confidence, but it's like to come and not being willing to negotiate.
He was almost the embodiment of people being like, yo, check your privilege. Like, America, check your privilege. Like, you all literally have Donald Trump as your president right now. Like we always knew we had the biggest stick, right? But can we at least be humble? Can we at least be humble about it and actually like help where we can?
Yeah.
And I'm not talking about just going to go bomb other places and pretending that we're like helping and really not.
No, yeah. Which Obama did as well.
Helping, which every single president has done. I'm not saying like, can we actually just fucking mind our business? Can we choose one of the two? Can we either just fucking mind our own business, when it comes to that, and not exploiting others like that? It's like, how much more do we need? Does America need to have control in every single area of
every single sector? And it's like you're making enemies of things because you're like, oh, we were getting shorted on these different these different components of like diplomacy, and it's like there's a give and take there. We've taken so much from the rest of the world. It's been the U.S. empire for like over a century, and sadly, like I think it is kind of like the fall of it in regards to how it's looked, because we're literally burning from the inside. From like I never thought I'd ever see anything like that.
I don't think that it would cripple us, because once again we still do have the biggest stick, if you know what I'm talking about.
Like the dollar. I mean, the yen is coming up though.
I mean weapons.
Yeah, but you know what the history of human is whenever there's someone, usually it's like one entity or one person in power, and they tend to be a nuisance to other lower leveled entities. Entities can conjoin and come together to take down the big nuisance, the big power, and I could see that happening to us, especially if we literally cut all of our ties. That's how the world works.
The only people that can contend to us would be Russia and China in those regards.
I literally could see that happening. Russia and China versus the U.S.
Russia and China aren't friends either.
I guess, but if we made ourselves, if Donald Trump was reelected, and we had another 4 years of how he goes about with his policies and with his antics, I would not be surprised if they ever did come together because they saw us as a bigger threat, and they were like, "It's fine. We'll figure out. We have our differences. Hi, I'm Russia. Hi, I'm China. We have our differences, but that guy's a problem over there that we don't like, and why don't we just fucking stomp him to the ground and take away all of his worth?" And I could see that happening, but I mean, just seeing just a bunch of I don't want to say incels, but like people that look mad disgusting, that haven't shaved in fucking 4 years.
Yeah, well,
They lived in the
Sure,
mother's.
there's ugly people everywhere.
No, but they
right?
live in the
Pretty
mother's.
people everywhere.
Yo, some of these people look like inbreds. I'm like, to my conservative cats, and like I consider myself a moderate, but like you're seeing this and you're not willing to question. You're on the same team as these type of extremists. Like I've even been to like during the summer here in Denver. I was at like a lot of BLM marches and protests, and less than a lot of my friends here. But I saw some certain things that concerned me, and I was like, no, we're not doing that. Given a lot of like the things that I'll see, like someone trying to like throw a bottle at someone's like door, like yelling at people in their balcony to come out and started insulting them. And a lot of those guys would be like white men yelling at people, and I'll look at them and be like, hey, we're not doing that. This isn't what that's for. This is supposed to be peaceful. We're not instigating people. We're not doing. That's not what this is about. Because people, I know people also individuals have their own agendas or whatever, but to be on another extreme to the extent that like you're with these fucking cartoon characters with buffalo horns going into people's offices, and that's okay because you think you're being your rights have been trespassed in that like sense. I know there's a cognitive dissonance there. You have to check where you're at. You have to remember we all are part of, like, we're living in history. We're all part of history, and we all have so much more worth than that. Everyone's become so like everyone's become so absolute in their way of thinking. It's like there's so much complexity in being like human, so much complexity in the world that we live.
I think that right now, if we're still talking about this politics kind of stuff, it's almost people almost are mad at you for being in the middle now. Like you have to pick a side now.
I mean, obviously, I hope people can see which side I've picked, but I dabble in a lot of literature and a lot of different things, and I know the extremes of both. And I also know, in regards to like national politics, how both sides how they try to sell you on things when they've already been sold out by corporations. So I mean, obviously that kind of tells you, yeah, that also
sure.
kind of tells you where I stand in that regard. But like,
watch out, bro. The Illuminati might be.
Okay, I'm sorry. I would like to apologize right now for Jared. I don't know why he comes out. I'm very anti-conspirator, and then he comes at us with that.
You said it. You said that.
I didn't say that at all. Don't come at me sideways like that, mate. Anyways, let's get started. You know, this is Sweet Chocolate presented to you by nothing but nothing. But if there's any sponsors out there that would want to sponsor this amazing, wonderful podcast and with a beautiful vision, we're out here.
Sweet chocolate, brought to you by D Nuts.
I'm so sorry for that. I would like to apologize for that as well. Anyway, sweet chocolate, brought to you by beautiful melanin, the sun.
Hey, you're glistening, bro.
Hey, you're glistening, dude. Eyebrows on fleek. Stop. Anyway, what are you drinking over there, Jared? Because I know you've been drinking on that. I know you've been on that hooch. So what are you drinking over there on this beautiful Sunday afternoon?
It's Modelo time.
Ooh.
Actually, speaking of.
Nice. Yeah, this man needs to re-up. But over here in Denver, it's been snow. It snowed last night. Yesterday it was a beautiful night. Kept it cool. Went skiing. And right now I am drinking because it's a nice, beautiful Sunday afternoon. The sun came out because we do get, if not, 300 days of sunshine. And it's just beautiful living out here where people vacation. And right now I am drinking a Prince de Richemont Brut champagne with a little dash of VSOP, no ASAP, but VSOP, a little French brandy, and a splash of OJ. No Simpson, just no Simpson, but a little orange juice for little Sunday liquid snack, Sunday replenishing, nice, subtle, catch a nice buzz. We can all see what Jared's doing. He has no hip movements, no hip checks, and so yeah, damn. I guess that was the week in a nutshell, because that was like the main topic for the week, like the main current event for the week. But let's get away from that. Let's talk about us. Let's talk about our experience. And for today's episode, we really wanted to touch on normalizing blackness in like our respective spaces, where we're at. Denver coming at you from Austin, and Denver, and how we engage that, like normalizing blackness, which can seem very like vague, but we'll dive into that real soon. So for me, moving to Denver, Colorado, I moved here because I was like, this is such a beautiful, amazing natural space. I'm big on exploring like natural spaces, just taking it in, climbing the highest peak, and coming down and cruising, carving it during the winter, climbing the highest peaks during the summer, and carving it during the summer, and carving it during the winter. And I couldn't help but notice there being a lack of color up there, a lack. Especially one time, this old white woman came up to me, and she came up to me, skied next to me, and was like, "Oh my god, it's so nice to see some color up here. Oh, sweetie, this is so nice." And I was like, "Yo, like, why does it have to be an event?" And that's always been like in the back of my head.
Cause that was like a unicorn to her, bro.
And
like, hold on. You ever hear of like, you ever been over to like Japan or China or something like that?
Not yet. Japan, okay. I'm coming for you.
I haven't either. But when they see black people, they don't see black people like, we just aren't chilling out there like that. Like in America, you still like black people still be chilling in America, you know? Like like we're here. We're not in like China, bro. If we are, once again, it's not like you're moving to China. Are you moving to China anytime soon?
I have no plans to. No, I do love the food.
So it's like, if you go over there, you're like almost like, people just probably want to like shake your hand and like take pictures with you.
Oh, they think you're an athlete. They think you're an anomaly.
Yeah, they just think you.
But isn't that cringe? So do we just take that? Is that just the world that we live in, that we're just supposed to take it every time as black people? They're like, oh, like, I'm a mailman and I'm delivering mail like I've always have.
Yes, Joe, I totally believe you. I think that makes so much sense if you're in America. And that doesn't happen in America. White people aren't just around here just trying to take pictures with black people, right? Unless they are actually like famous. In China, remember, it's just Chinese people.
So they're so surrounded by their own likeness.
I get it why it would be just like, yo, like, just chill, but like at the same time it's like, damn, like they really don't see black people like that. Like even like once again, I'm already speaking on what I'm assuming. Like even their entertainment, like their TV that they watch, like Chinese TV shows, like with Chinese people.
Mm-hmm.
They're not seeing black people. They're probably not even listening to like.
So, but like, we don't live in China or Japan. We live in America, and there's also, we lead the way in so many different things. Obviously.
Okay. Yeah. Sure. But
like, I know, like in Europe, slavery was taken away before it was taken away here in America. Things of that sort. And we've had to deal with things like the remnants of all of that. But I'm sick and tired of it being 2021, it being 2020, 2019, and yes, I understand a lot of the places, like you and I are both well-educated individuals, a lot of places that we go into, yes, they can be white spaces, but why are people so cringe? Like, how they interact with us makes us so cringe. Like, they don't know how to just be cool, how to just be chill. Like, the amount of times I've like gone to a bar, just hanging out, talking, like I'm with friends, or like a work happy hour, and just vibing, having a good time. Someone I don't even know, some random dude from probably Wisconsin or Minnesota comes at me. It's like, hey, you know who you look like? And I'm like, I was not engaging you at all. Hi, I'm Joe. But that's not what they go with. And they're like, you look like fucking Antonio Brown. You look like fucking Chadwick Boseman. You look like fucking Michael B. Jordan. And I'm like, I haven't gotten Michael B. Jordan, but like, I'll take it. But like, it's like,
I have. That's cool.
But it's like, I don't even know this cat. And I was like, how many white people go up to other white random people and they just come up to start a conversation and that's their go-to? Is that not problematic? Is that not concerning?
You know what? You just brought up something really funny to me, and now it just not clicked to me why it was funny to my mom. probably like when I was like 5 years old. I was at the YMCA. And I remember telling my mom after like a day, one of the counselor there, some white guy was just like, and he was. I was like 5.
Mm-hmm.
He was probably like in his like 17, 18, right?
Mm-hmm.
But he's like, oh yeah, like you look like Denzel.
What?
And so I told my, and I was like, I mean, who doesn't like Denzel? So I told my mom, I was like, yeah, he said I look like Denzel. My mom was like, you do not look like Denzel.
You do not. You're ugly.
And I'm 5. One, I'm not ugly. Okay. 2, I'm 5. How the hell does a 5-year-old look like Denzel?
Yo, no one knows what Denzel looked like at 5 years old.
It's just, even at that point, right? Like, it didn't click for me because I mean, you don't really understand the race, like the whole like interpersonal relationship within America, the history of race when you're that young. But like, it just now clicked to me just now, honestly. Just like, damn, like that kid definitely was like all his, prior programming to what Black people were to him, right? Or however that interaction was with a different race played out right there.
Like they see a pop culture icon and they're like, oh, that's a reference for me to engage Black people. When it's like, we don't do that. We take white people as they are. Like I meet a Jeb, I meet a Drew, I meet a Nick, and I'm like, yo, like, all right, cool, tight to tight. Like one of my Devil Caught Me Slipping. If you watched the last episode, and I downloaded Hinge, and I have recently re-downloaded it just for a month because I don't think I need it for more than a month, if you know what I mean. And one of my prompts on there is like, just comment, just swipe right on me, say yes. If you're cool, just be cool. Like just if you're cool, like just be cool, just laid back, and like don't come at me either being the super like wanting to be a white savior, being like, oh, like I get your caught, like I get whatever. I'm like, no, like I'm not like that. Like I'm just building my own experience as I go. But and it's also like, don't be like, I don't want to also be your guinea pig for like experiencing Black culture, because I think I'm also like, my individuality speaks more than like it's my Blackness and then some. Like it's so I like, no, like take me as I am, as I would take you as you are. So it's just like, why do people have such a disconnect with just realizing that sometime? And like, it's just, I don't know, it's just sad that like it's 2021, dude. It's not the 90s anymore. We're so connected to so much. There's so many ways to learn that like you don't have to.
I feel like the 90s were even better than now.
Why do you say that?
Like at least like the 90s was like
a lot of gangster rap. A lot of people are dying. I guess a lot of people are dying now, but.
Well, were we in any wars during the 90s?
Any wars?
Yeah.
Yeah,
I'm sure. I don't think so. I feel like Iraq and Afghanistan started like 2000s. Yeah,
but there's always been conflict. I mean, you still had South Africa. You still had South Africa.
Because even the 70s, right? The 70s was post-war too. And that's why, like, a lot of, like, the psychedelic, like, oh, peace, love, man. Like, finally, like, we don't have to go to war, bro. Like, that's where that shit came from.
I guess. Yeah, but doesn't that just mean, like, people were out of tune with reality in a sense?
60s. 80s was disco and shit. 80s was, like, when everyone was doing cocaine and shit and, like...
Now we're generalizing.
Because they weren't in war anymore. They're like, fuck it, we're partying.
All right, there was the Gulf War in 1990 to 1991. You had apartheid still happening till like 1994, the Bosnian Civil War. There's always been shit going on.
That was not in America, though.
Okay, obviously in America we weren't doing all that, dude. Like, but
apartheid.
No, fun fact. Thanks to people like Trevor Noah and me, just being the being the bibliophile that I am. But it's when I guess the coming of age for apartheid, and when in South Africa, when they were sending like scientists and government officials to come to go to certain countries to break down racism and like racial systems to better lead people. they send people here to the U.S. They send people all over the world so that they can go back to South Africa so that they can perfect the racial construct and racial system, which actually in of itself says a lot of America. Like if people came here to study racism so that they can better it, so that it's like they have different categorizing of people, so that people are always sort of against each other. People always stay in their bubbles. People always stay in their lane in a way so that all of like their government can continue to be fluid. Dude, like societal history is so problematic.
I think that there's always give and take in every single thing in life. There's up, there's so is up, so is down, right? Hot and cold, and it's like, I say that first because like, what if it is how you were talking about? Like everyone has their bubble. Every race has their bubble. We only talk within our race. We never commingle. That would stop all this racist shit, right? We wouldn't even have to deal with each other. First of all.
So you're pro segregation.
Let's talk about it. Let's talk about
you sound like some of my barbers from like the Nation of Islam.
I'm talking. Remember, I just said there's ups and downs. Let me continue.
All right.
So we talk about right. So if you're all separated like that, right? Fine. We won't have we won't have this shit going on. At the same time, you're never going to have any type of commingling of cultures. You're never going to have all these different foods that you love. You're never going to have all these different type of music that you love and dances and all that shit. So that's the trade-off, right? So what's more important? I would say that the experience of other people's cultures is more important.
Same.
I would rather. So the thing is, then how do we go forward and figure out? Okay, well, we understand that this might be easier if everyone just kept their own fucking business. But the thing is, everybody loves other people's some aspect of their culture.
Yeah.
At the end of the day, okay. I love lasagna. That's Italian. Or spaghetti. That's Italian. Okay. A white person might love hip hop. Cool.
Which is fine. Shout out Tyler Hero.
I think we need to stop being so selfish and actually think about it. It's like, yo, all these things that I love were created by other people. Most of the things that you love in life were created by somebody else. You probably paid money to get whatever that was. It's created by somebody else. Can we not just respect that? Can we not just respect that it was somebody else's idea or somebody else's resources or somebody else's whatever that you were able to get your hands on or experience?
Okay, yeah.
It's like, bro, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Can we take a step back and actually just respect it for a second?
Respect it and just be appreciative of where we're at in history, where like globalization and people are able to dip in different soapboxes. People are able to dip in like different categories, and like now you do have like, right? Is that what you're going at?
Well, yeah. Think about it this way, right? This might make it even more exponential of an explanation. I love that. Great. Right. What if when the British were, trying to colonize, they never brought slaves over, right? They never also went to like the Mediterranean, or not the Mediterranean, but the islands, southeast. What if they just straight went over to America, right? And America was just only Anglo-Saxon Americans, right?
It'd be mad pasty. No, I'm kidding.
Well, one, they probably wouldn't have developed as fast. They probably would have been a little slower because they did get slaves for a lot of help. Most of the grunt work. So they would have been a lot slower with developing. But even if we come all the way across the timeline, right, whatever happens between coming to now, right? How would America look? Like, it would look. Maybe that shit just never would have happened. Maybe Africa's doing really well too.
Yeah, but those are all hypotheticals. Also, we can only record for 30 minutes because of Anchor. We can only record for 30 minutes, so we only have 3 seconds. So here's